Hello and welcome to Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy. My name is Catherine and I am getting ready for Thanksgiving. I have a garden called Catherine's Garden, and in it I've been able to plant all these wonderful squash and pumpkins and so forth. And so I want you to come and visit me in my garden for Thanksgiving. The month of November has definitely been a blessing. This has been my birthday month, and I've really been celebrating for the whole month and also celebrating in my garden. I'm so grateful that I have this garden where I can plant and harvest my vegetables, and especially butternut squash. My butternut squash that I grew is about 1 foot long, and it is going to become part of our Thanksgiving. But last year I was able to actually cook and put together the squash, and then of course my pumpkin. Shall I make it into a pie, or shall I just let it decorate the Thanksgiving Day table? This is my third year in planting butternut squash in the garden. This year I didn't plant as many squash as I did last year. Last year I went crazy and I planted butternut squash and pumpkins all over the garden, and they just trailed all over the grass and just had a good old time in my garden. I especially love the leaves of the butternut squash, and I love how they just fill up a certain area in the front and just give that sense of abundance. And I love the fruit. My family, they love butternut squash. And then of course the flowers, the beautiful bright yellow flowers, it just fills the place. Now look at this. This squash has found itself in the wall. Last year, the squash just filled the whole backside of the garden. And then it was even traveling up on the wall in the front like it's doing this year. And last year, my bowls were overflowing with squash. I had butternut squash and pumpkins, and I just started to just give them away. This beautiful morning of September, a brand new month, hallelujah, I have been harvesting a lot of these butternut squash, and I have quite a few here. I've been giving them away, but this is what I harvested on yesterday. 8 beautiful squash. And then I still have these here. And I really think that this is such a time for giving. This is such a time for spreading the goodness to others so that they can be blessed as well. And I'm very grateful to God for this opportunity to have this ability to give, and to give of my labor. There's this song that says, your labor is not in vain. Your labor is not in vain. And I'm glad that my labor has not been in vain, that I have been successful in gathering these squash. So far for this year, 2019, we harvested 4 squash, and they have been very tasty. I've also harvested some of these acorn squash too. This is the butternut squash that my husband picked yesterday from the garden. So I just wanted you to see what it looks like. And these are the tomatoes. that I also harvested from the vegetable patch. This butternut squash. Let me hold it up for you. It's huge. It was growing over there by the front garden. You know where I was showing you all of those beautiful big leaves? And he likes it like this. I mean, he would eat it when it's a lot more ripened, but there's something very tender about it, like this. And he's excited to put it in his food with his stew and fish, and we're going to be enjoying this for a couple of days. Now this looks like to me a real cottage-like garden. My urban cottage garden. Look at this. Look at this. I planted the butternut squash in the corner, and look at how it's just trailing here. Last year I had a lot of butternut squash and I made some squash puffs. Butternut squash, and put it in the oven and roast them and see what happens next. And I am very excited about this process. I'm going to roast them in the oven on 400 and then enjoy them. Well, here is my roasted butternut squash. Yes, I have finished it, and here it is. Wow, it looks pretty good to me. It almost reminds me of potatoes, you know, when we roast or fried potatoes. That's what it reminds me of, but it's with squash instead. I think it came out pretty good. I'm going to taste it. Yes, I am, and eat it and share it with my family. Well, I'm going to sample this, and they look like baked or fried potatoes. You know, potato strips or potato puffs. That's what it looks like. Let's taste it and see how it tastes. It tastes like potato. I can taste the squash now. This tastes really fresh. I like this. I might end up eating it all by myself. Came out very good. A little crispy, but a little soft and tender in the middle. I like that. I think if you have kids, they'll like it. Yeah, because it reminds me of potato, you know, potato puffs or baked potatoes. Tastes very good. Oh, good. I found a new recipe for my squash, my butternut squash. Oh, this is very good. I like this. This harvest represents my joy in the garden for 2019. As I take a walk around the garden and I look and I see how it is right now, I still remember about the squash and how it just trailed throughout the garden. But then I look at the beauty of the garden now for November, and I am grateful, I am thankful for all of the wonderful things that happened. And especially when I go back and I look at some of the older videos and I see where the squash trailed up on that shrub and then moved through the garden down the garden border, I was just thankful. I'm just so thankful for all of the goodness that came from my garden. And even just looking at it now, looking at the cedar and the beauty that it provides, but also the garden is also feeding the birds and feeding um, the squirrels and the different animals that are looking and scavenging for food. It's just a beautiful thing. Look at this. I remember the bee balm that was here, but look at the beauty of the bee balm now. The architectural design. It's so beautiful. At least I think so. I really truly love my urban cottage garden. And I think that it is a place to celebrate, just a place to be thankful that I'm able to tend it, to care for it, to watch it go through the different seasons of spring, summer, fall, and now we're heading into winter. I'm going to leave these leaves on the ground so that they can protect the bulbs, and yet my anticipation of what is to come. I'm just thankful that the little angel is there looking over my garden. It's something to be excited about. And then, next year I'm going to make sure that I plant more butternut squash so that it can just travel all the way through the garden. And that next year I'm going to have that abundance that I had in 2018 again. But yes, I am grateful. I am thankful for every single branch, every single leaf, every single blade of grass. Yes, in my garden, Catherine's garden, my urban cottage garden. Amen. The beauty of my urban cottage garden for the summer and fall of 2019 was just so amazing. And if my garden produces again like this, I will be so happy.
So after the rain, everything kind of flops a little bit, but I love the way that it looks because everything is alive and well, and we don't have to water. Yeah. Look at this. It's starting to give shoots. It's little fronds. Yes. And then also, these chrysanthemums are coming back from last year. Yeah, the chrysanthemums are coming back from last year. That is wonderful. Look at this. So things are coming in and things are going out still, but most of the plants are going to seed. Let's check on this okra. Wow, look at that. I really have to start earlier with the okra. The echinacea. They're going to seed too. I want them to. I want the echinacea to go to seed so that I can have more plants next year. I want them to self-seed. I want everything to self-seed, and then I'll have the choice of whether I want to pull them up or not. But look at this. So the garden is really in those jewel tone colors of maroon. Yeah. And the thing is that these zinnias, look at that. The zinnias emphasize this jewel tone appearance. Check out these beautiful zinnias. They are the stars. They are the stars of the garden right now. Look at that. This front garden. This is my cottage garden feel. They're going to seed, but I still love it. Oh, and the bee balm. You know, when you allow things to go to seed, you have instant plants. And what happens is that you can then take the plants, little seedlings, and put them in other parts of the garden without having to do too much work. Of course, you have to dig it up and move it, but that's not hard to do. And it's for free. Let me see if I can find my, oh, I still see my cantaloupe in there. But look at this. What an amazing situation here. Some things you don't want too much of, because like this is gonna seed all over the place. I'm gonna have my hands cut out I'm gonna have my work cut out to keep up with them, but it's still beautiful. And soon I will have to harvest these squash, the butternuts, and there's a huge one in there. I'm sure there are quite a few, but I love this. Look at the deep colors of the hydrangea with the purple perilla. You can really see it there. And even here. It's like snapshots of beauty. I'm just so impressed with this. It's nice. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Let's go in here a little bit and see what we have. This is like zinnia joy. I know I don't have a lot, but what I do have is just so beautiful. And just from a pack of seeds that cost less than $1, I was able to get this joy. Now, isn't that fabulous? This is my basil. It's overgrown and going to seed. It's still so pretty. And also America.
With a heart of gratitude, I say thank you so much
Yes.
for coming and visiting me here at Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy. I truly enjoy sharing my garden with you, and I wish you and your family a happy, happy Thanksgiving with many blessings. Be blessed. Lady Wisdom says that you are wonderful, that you're beautiful, and that you're God's gift to the world. So go on out there and shine and let the world know that Jesus Christ is Lord. And see you next time on Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy. Remember to subscribe to Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy on YouTube. Be blessed.